Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, and WhatsApp, which I have had to report countless times to the Cybersecurity Authority and the Ghana Police Service repeatedly. This is in spite of having verified accounts on all aforementioned platforms. One major challenge is the length of time it takes for these platforms to respond to fake reports, to respond to accounts of fake accounts, in spite of having received verified accounts of various persons, and several fake accounts are opened daily by these criminals. These malicious actors are not only impersonating public figures, but also deceiving and exploiting unsuspecting individuals, causing severe financial and reputational harm. Mr. Speaker, this country needs to be more stringent and targeted with its legislation in place in order to protect individuals on these platforms, and the greater public should have more education on safety online. This disturbing trend extends nationwide, extending and affecting not only members of parliament but also other citizens. The consequences are dire, tarnishing hard-earned reputations and eroding trust in our digital interactions. Despite commendable efforts by the Cybersecurity Authority and Ghana Police Service, including recent high-profile crackdowns, many of these cyber criminals manage to evade justice, escaping prosecution due to what appears to be a disconnect between the modus operandi of our court systems and the extremely fluid and high-tech nature of cybercrime. There have been instances where individuals, in spite of overwhelming evidence to their complicity in these crimes committed, were released, and equipment which was used in criminal activity containing... It is true that cervical cancer is one of the most common in Ghana amongst women, and only 3.6% of women in Ghana aged 18 to 69 have ever been screened, and 4.3% of women 30 to 49, which is the highest risk group, have ever been screened for cervical cancer. And as a result of that, normally this cancer presents quite late and does not have a good prognosis at that point. Mr. Speaker, I believe that in addition to the contributions made by other members, is just simply to add certain things that women ought to look out for, just as a means of providing extra information, because this serves as a platform. One of the things that serves as a red flag as a woman is when there's abnormal bleeding in between menstrual cycle, in between the periods, and then also when there is bleeding after sexual intercourse. These are two things that women should be aware of and should be concerned about when they do occur. And with regards to breast cancer, women should get to know their breasts very well, and their husbands or partners should do same. It's usually advisable. The best time to actually check the breast is in the shower, when there's soap and water, and it makes it easier for the hands to glide over the breasts so that one can feel if there are any lumps or bumps in the breast. And it would be also very important to add that when you do check the breast, you must also check your armpits, because the lymph nodes in the armpits are usually the ones where you have drainage from the breast as well. Other important things to look out for in terms of abnormal changes in the breast are when the nipples are inverted. So if the nipples aren't sticking out as usual and they start to point the wrong way, that's another thing to look out for. Minority Leader, please pay attention. This is important. In addition, one of the other things to look out is what's called the peau d'orange, where the skin appears like an orange peel. That also shows that there might be edema. Yes, an orange peel. I think we're all familiar with the way an orange peel looks. Yes. These are just a few pointers that we should look out for, simply to raise our awareness to what is not normal. And if you are not breastfeeding, having any discharge from the nipple is also abnormal. So these are things to look out for. So for the male MPs, please pay attention when you're with your wives and significant others. And the women, please get to know your bodies so that when something changes, you are actually the first person to know. When you go and see your doctors, please make it a point to bring your doctor's attention to all of these. And once a year, when you see your doctor, do ask for a cervical screen, or as well, just have your breast checked. Thank you very much, Mr.
Issue about emergency medical services. Mr. Speaker, since I came into the Parliament maybe about a couple weeks ago, I have gone around the entire premises, and Mr. Speaker, I don't see any emergency kits or any emergency services provided for us parliamentarians. I don't see AEDs in the bathrooms or in the hallways. And the other day, we also saw the former president's ADC, who fainted in the chamber, and the way the ADC was actually carted away was actually not per standard of care. So, Mr. Speaker, as a trauma surgeon myself, I would like to propose that maybe with your indulgence, that we have a committee that might even have an emergency services team so that we can walk the premise and see how best we can help ourselves in the room. I also have an agency that we teach emergency services, which is advanced cardiac life support, which is what happens when people are having a heart attack or a stroke. We also have the stroke care. That maybe we offer some of these classes to our parliamentarians, and not only just as parliamentarians, but the staff, as well as perhaps our drivers and maybe our house helps, so that in case one of us is in trouble, at least there's someone who can perform the first aid. Proper first aid leads to decreased morbidity and mortality.
I did not pick it, I pick it. Shake you, mommy, oh, I get it. Baby, I so I pick it.
In so after my game, no mesra kotoko support it say yesi ebe winning league we are. Me huni say 2 away matches ya koi. In so after game we. And I say through a besna ko young apostle. Say you nyamu 4 points kula ye nyambo china ne ye fa win. Number kuna kan ye nya draw.
Ntina me no de na upper win na de na upper draw.
Oh, last season in so after my boy home and away. And this season ki nya ne sa na nkaja.
Ka mo person so so atre. Na young apostle no ko fa draw.
Threaten pa e call me so stadium mo. Ah, mu se makafo anche o ntima mi nsi so atre na yobo. Fadaruma anye bia me dia sembi tu anim kakra. Enso atre ma manuati awu mana. Manuati o mu bia ka betwe asan. Konra threaten pa e call me so stadium mo. Ah, mu se makafo anche o ntima mi nsi so atre na yobo.
Isatrema for babu.
Ah, so atre supporters.
On the one no obu.
Nipa be 10 obi obehu ni bia ba ko fra de wa save me pen. Ah,
you say on be your day.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now. Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on the Thursday edition of Good Morning Ghana. My name is Audu Moore. Thank God we're still alive and kicking. We're just going to go straight ahead and look at what the newspapers are reporting this morning. I'll start with the Ghanaian Times. The Ghanaian Times this morning is reporting, says new Hajj fare pegged at 62,000 Ghana cedis, down from 75,000 in 2024. President Mahama promises to complete Takoradi Market Circle project. Give indigents quota of employment at Jamestown Harbour. Ga Manche has been talking. The Insight newspaper, Cocoa Board chokes on 5.37 billion debt. Oof. 5.37 billion debt. Minister drops hint of ongoing investigations. Book on Israel, genocide in Gaza outlawed. Sacked SICMD refuses to hand over, locks up office and bolts with keys. Unbelievable. A new military strategy of French neocolonialism in Africa, reorganizing under the cover retreat. The new crusading guide. Abuja opens bid for competitive road tolling system in Ghana. KGL boss promotes public-private partnerships for sustainable development at Africa Prosperity Dialogue 2025. Abu Jinapo denies denigrating Rawlings. Now, Alwyn Traditional Council member exposed in illegal mining scandal. Minority slams Mahama for dropping charges against acting Bank of Ghana governor, threatens to petition IMF. KD Asante leaves Ghana Gas as multinational companies pursue his expertise. And also GBH board fights Slate boss over attempt to scuttle CEO appointment. Daily Post. APAC 12 others nominated for deputy ministerial positions. There's also the minority was very disruptive appointments committee chair, Ahiafo. President Mahama to reinstate Republic Day, introduce new public holiday for Eid al-Fitr. Daily Searchlight. Daily Searchlight. Unclear mandate stops Bagwing committee. Unclear mandate stops Bagwing committee. And the minority kicks against Dr. Siame's appointment as Bank of Ghana governor. Sobolo is natural cure for hypertension. This is actually one of my favorite drinks. Mahama submits list of deputy ministerial nominees to Parliament. The Business and Financial Times. Policy proposals for PURC challenges legacy issues in banking sector over the past decade, 2015 to 2024, and the way forward. Cashew traders cautioned on illegal exports. Amandu Budu inspiring the next generation of female entrepreneurs. There's Grail's factory on verge of shutdown over illegal mining activities. Container pileup at Tema Port drops by 21.7% after customs intervention. Deposit return system key on tackling plastic waste. Well, that's it for today's newspapers. I'm talking about the headlines, or the big headlines on the major newspapers. I'll come back. When I do come back, we'll be introducing our guests and the conversation will start.
Experience the enhanced protection of Star Motor Third Party Extra from Star Assurance, an enhanced motor third party insurance policy that provides cover for loss or damage to your vehicle's windscreens, side mirrors, back glass, and other glass components. Whether it's a crack or major damage, you can drive with the assurance that your vehicle is well protected. Our commitment to you includes affordable coverage options and a claims process that is both fast and straightforward, so you spend less time dealing with paperwork and more time on the road. Also, we have proudly partnered with Hope for Little Lives, an organization dedicated to supporting children in need. By choosing Star Motor Third Party Extra, you're protecting your vehicle and making a positive impact. Every policy you buy helps bring joy and support to children in underserved communities. Reach out to us now on our toll-free numbers 0800-177-177 or 0302-245-906 to sign up. Let us help you drive with peace of mind and purpose. Star Motor Third Party Extra. Drive with confidence, give back with heart.
Star Assurance, your solid partner.
Look around. Home also need a makeover. Mine clearly does. So we went to Ashroom and found the Como collection. It had everything we're looking for and more. Merchant furniture for the entire home, designed with you in mind.
Where's Como collection? Dressing up is just a breeze. Always ready with a perfect accessory.
A magic dressing mirror. One look and you're ready to face the world. Or at least the kids.
A bed perfect for young men who want
a table that turns into a treasure chest.
And finally, a sofa with this grand TV unit for family time at home.
Head over to any Ashphone store now and discover the new Como collection. Ashphone, feel it, know it.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Energy drink.
Ama, nansi mi jeno wo bin enko ye kwao. Ama ma ye bohu se kontomra akija.
Nansi me hu se me nyo basi makura. Ama me kunu me into kwankwa. Oh you right. Enye mo ko. Give us JC lecture. And the capsules are your boom and what's some namokana. A bois in ma any memenina. Nema ba ye obesima. Na bear must why your bemasima. Ya, with the one I'm a neck giant sour the shelly bottom. No when you yan and into sessing you or you chop one. BC mixture and a castle.
A painful about one more menu for one and Quadawin if you do me.
In an era where fire safety is paramount, Kabori Film Compound Technologies Limited stands out as a leader in the development of innovative fire dousing solutions. With a focus on aqueous film forming foam, the company provides a cutting-edge product that significantly enhances fire suppression capabilities across various sectors, including maritime, industrial and emergency response.
The oil and gas sector, along with chemical manufacturing facilities and fire services.
Kabori's advanced film technology offers a more efficient and environmentally responsible alternative.
Kabori is recognized for its superior extinguishing capabilities and prolonged resistance to reignition. Kabori's product is certified by the Ghana National Fire Service, the Ghana Standards Authority, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Nigerian Standards Organization.
Kabori Film Compound Limited is situated in Nsawam within the eastern region of Ghana. For inquiries, reach out to them on 0245 885 288 or 0244 514 048. You may also contact them via email at info@kaborifilm.com. Kabori Film Compound Technologies Limited, providing film compound solutions to help institutions.
you.
I'm renting.
Let me do it.
Right, Honorable Speaker, as much as we do politics, we need to be very careful not to wash our dirty linen in public. Right, Honorable Speaker, we know. Right, Honorable Speaker, we know that some matters are for closed city. So we should be very careful the way we do some politics regarding certain issues. You and I are very much aware about certain things that we do in closed city. So please.
Chairman, thank you. Yes, Honorable Dominic.
Mr. Speaker, I was not at the vetting of him. In fact, I wanted to be there, but I wasn't there. But Mr. Speaker, I watched him live. I watched him. It was there for everybody to see. It was not about closed sitting. When he said, every Ghanaian heard it. When that question was put to him by the minority leader. So the people of Ghana are still demanding these answers. It will help him and help this proposal and help every politician. It will help every politician if he's able to let the people of Ghana know where he's getting money to rent that property at Airport Hill. Mr. Speaker, I commend them for saying that they will do oral work. I commend you. I just want you to make sure that the oral committee is set up properly according to law and do your work. But Mr. Speaker, I want them to go to Botema first. Go to Botema first. Check the land that was given between 2014 and 2015, 2016. Who are the members who benefited Botema? Go to Botema. Committee Chairman, I want you to go to Botema. Affordable had where President Kufuor built. The land that shares boundaries will be state land. It was given in 2014 and 2015, part of it 2016. Find out the people who own that land.
This committee, what you witnessed on the 30th of January 2025, and
seated for a while, and I was observing proceedings to see how the chairman of the committee was going to manage the situation. So I was seated there for a long time. I never got up. I never uttered a word. I just sat there and I was watching. And the minority members rose up and will not sit, will not leave the room, and publicly were expressing their disagreement with the chairman to continue with the vetting exercise. So I remained seated, and after a while, when I noticed that it was difficult for the chairman to bring order to the room, I decided to get up from where I was seated and start talking to both sides to understand what really was the problem. Because I'm not a member of the committee. I don't know what discussions took place. I just heard both sides exchanging words and shouting at each other. I heard words like ambush. I heard words like we didn't agree on this. And I heard words like we must vet them. And I heard words like you cannot stop us. And so I knew that there was some disagreement somewhere, but what it was, I didn't know. So I tried to talk to them to try and hear what the issue was. So I walked to all the sides trying to understand what is the problem. On the minority side, they said that they had had some discussions, and the understanding was that they were supposed to vet 3 nominees. And then later on, there was a plea to add a 4th nominee, and they agreed. After that, there was a plea to add a 5th nominee, and that was the nominee for the Minister of Transport. And then there was resistance that, according to them, Honorable Nitu tried to convince the side to accede to the plea by the majority side to add the nominee for the Ministry of Transport. And so ultimately they agreed. And that was the nomination that I came and met. But towards the end, they have seen that the majority side is parading 2 additional nominees. And those were Akando and then Honorable Ablakwa. And that they were not going to entertain the nomination of these 2 other, the vetting of these 2 other nominees. And I heard their side. So I tried to speak to the chairman and then the majority side. They also indicated that there was no agreement to vet only 3 people, and that because of the decision to hear Vamebo, they had pushed all those who were supposed to be nominated that day to the Thursday. So they were hoping to clear both the nominees for Wednesday and Thursday on Thursday. So that was what they were seeking to achieve, which is just to complete the task that was before them. And there was strong disagreement. So I tried to convince the majority side that how about if they agree to vet Akando so that you push Ablakwa to Friday morning. Is that acceptable? They said no, they must vet the 2 of them that day. Then I went to the minority side and tried to plead with them. Is it okay for you to vet Akando since he's already seated, and then we can defer Ablakwa to Friday morning? And they also said no. They will not vet Akando. Some were okay, some said we don't have a problem with Akando, but we have a problem vetting Ablakwa tonight. So I decided to engage the minority leader, and I asked him to come out of the committee room with me so that we can talk. So outside, he gave a very strong objection and said his side will not agree, and that they were tired and they agreed on 3, and they had been generous enough to do 5, and we want to push them to do 7. It was too much, and it was already late. It was about 8 p.m., and they were tired. They would not continue the work. So when I noticed that he could not come along with me to at least agree to vet Akando, I came back trying to talk to some people on his side to prevail on him, and the situation had degenerated.
And stood up. What did you intend to do?
To defend the clerk, really, it was difficult to watch what was happening
and I felt helpless. I saw that she's a very calm woman. I asked her, can you hear my side asking you to swear in Honorable Akando? And she calmly, with poise and finesse, said, the clerk to Parliament is in the room. I take instructions from him, not from you. And I thought, but, sorry. It was really hard to watch. I'm sorry.
Just a follow-up. So your action was not to participate. What was going on?
Mr. Chairman, I'm a member of Parliament and lucky to be, or blessed to be, the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. I am standing on the shoulders of all women who have fought, including the amazing Haji Ladi who is sitting at this table, to dare to be who I am today. And it was hard for me to watch another woman who had also worked hard and was here in her capacity as a representative of Parliament, being virtually lynched by a man who should know better. I impulsively just stood up to ask him, what are you going to do? Because he kept saying, I will deal with you. And because she couldn't speak, I impulsively thought that I had become Yasantua for a moment. And I got up to ask him what he was going to do to her. Because it was the right thing to do at that moment. I'm not sure if I would allow myself to shout across a room like that again. But on that day, it was the best I could do. Thank you.
So finally, who was that person who was shouting?
It was the it was the minority leader, Honorable Kwamena Apanyumaking, who was shouting across the room.
That would be fine for.
All right, welcome back. This is Good Morning Ghana on the Metro Television. I'm sure that the testimonials was being given by the Honorable Ablaguma. She got some of you a bit teary because she was teary at some point. I mean, she was concerned about the insults and the vilification and the casting of aspersions on the Clerk of Parliament, the Clerk to the Appointments Committee. And so it will be understandable if some of you got a bit emotional about her outburst a while ago. So our guests have joined us. One of them has joined us. The other will be here in the next few minutes. Dr. Thomas Awunsi, I believe I got the Awunso. Yes. You teach me a bit more, don't worry.
Yes.
Dr. Thomas Awinsum
Anaba.
Yes. He's MP for the people of Garu, who's joined us for the first time, indeed. And so we're going to, as usual, usher him officially on behalf of the production team led by the Venerable Ani Efua Ampofo. I would like to officially and formally welcome you to the show. This is your first time on this platform, which is Good Morning Ghana. And so we'd like to welcome you and to assure you that you would have fun. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
And I just conveyed my message from Ani Efua Ampofo and the entire production team to you, and of course for myself.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to appear on this show that is watched worldwide.
Right.
And also appreciate your production manager for inviting me to participate. And I hope I would live up to expectation. Right.
I see. We have given you an assurances. You've also given us some assurances, which is that you will live up to expectations. You've always lived up to expectations. I've been monitoring and observing keenly. Of course, I've interviewed you several times back where I used to be before I joined Metro TV, You've done so well for yourself. I mean, you were, at the time, you were the Accra Regional Medical Director, or the Medical Director for the Accra Regional Hospital. You left there under some very unfortunate circumstances. You said something that you've never maybe you've put it behind you, but I'm sure when you write your memoir someday, you will not leave that out.
Sure.
You will not leave that out. And, you know, in fact, I remember at some point when you started engaging the media as an analyst because you put your political biases or partisan biases aside and you were engaging the media more as a health analyst.
Sure.
And we had calls from some quarters and they felt that, look, you were bitter, you know, because some of your analysis were very skewed in their view against the NPP, and some of them were not comfortable with us calling you as an analyst. And we said to them that, look, there are people who can successfully, you know, become analysts. They don't necessarily have to always do the partisan politics that we do. You know, in any case, everybody votes.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and so I followed you with with some keen attention, and you know, you've done very well for yourself.
Thank you very much.
You've done very well for yourself. So we're happy to have you join us on Good Morning Ghana.
Thank you. But let me first of all take the opportunity to thank the good people of Garu.
Yeah.
For the support and approval of my person to represent them in the August House of Parliament, and also be a voice for the good people of Garu. I will promise to be a good messenger and a good advocate for the good people of Garu and Ghana at large. I don't intend to leave my advocacy because Parliament, we are supposed to play what we call a supervisory role on the government to provide the needed resources for development everywhere. So the oversight responsibility, I'll still play it in Parliament, like I was doing with my NGO.
Yeah.
So they should be rest assured I would work in their favor and in the favor of the good people of Ghana. But I know my government, that is in power, will definitely work towards the benefit of Ghanaians, and I know that is going to work. At least he has started doing something positive with everything.
Let me say that the Honourable Reverend Ntimfo will be joining us. John Ntimfo will be joining us. He's the MP for Offenso South. He'll be here in the next few minutes. He's also former Deputy Education Minister. But before we even get into the main conversation for the day, I've been wondering, I mean, those of you are technocrats. I mean, you run an NGO. You've been a technocrat in your rights for a very long time. You consult for some international organizations and so on. So you're very comfortable. You didn't have to wake up every morning, open and have to attend to tens and hundreds of people who have varied degrees of needs and wants that they want you to satisfy. So you're living your life peacefully. If you have any contributions that you want to make to your party, the NDC, you did that in various forms and shapes and so on. And then you woke up one day and decided that you wanted to serve the people of Garu. I mean, were you fully mindful of what you're getting yourself into as an MP? With all the complaints we're hearing from MPs and people making all kinds of demands on them and how stressful it is, at the end of the day, they can't even save, and so on and so forth. I mean, was it something that you thought about quite deeply and carefully before deciding to serve the people of Garu?
Sure, I think I thought of it, and I still don't regret involving myself into politics.
Right.
Because as somebody who has been working with the community, working for Ghanaians with my NGO, I thought that if I go to Parliament, perhaps my voice would be heard better, and I'll have a direct involvement in helping shape policies that would bring about the things that I was doing when I was a technocrat. But still, I'm a technocrat, though a politician, because Parliament is a gamut of varied group of professionals. It wouldn't be bad to go and join that gamut of professionals in Parliament so that committees in Parliament, debate in Parliament would be enriched so that the outcome of whatever we decide in Parliament, definitely I have an influence, and to go a long way to actually bring to bear what I was thinking as a technocrat to bear in the final decision to help Ghanaians. So I didn't really care about how people would be coming on me and then the rest, because at the end, what I was doing previously was the same thing.
Yeah.
I was getting complaints from people regarding social amenities, regarding support for development, and then the rest. And Parliament is meant to do that. So I am used to it. I've started helping my community in Ghana, not today, and I think I would continue doing it in Parliament. What I need to do is to be more proactive, and then also try to get proposals to help other NGOs that I think that are left behind and their leaders are not in Parliament. I try to work with them and together we come out with better ideas and policies on how to run our country. So I am not that much worried about pressure on me because I'm used to it. As a medical professional, from school up to when you start work, you never rest because you work virtually 24 hours.
Right.
Even when you are going to sleep, somebody will call you. He has a relative who is sick. You have to help. They have this problem, which is this. So you work all the time. So I'm used to pressure. And I think it is good, at least going into Parliament, to make sure I participate in the final decision making to help Ghana improve.
So far, I mean, you've been a parliamentarian for just 2 weeks?
Barely a month.
Oh, barely a month, sorry.
Yes.
How has the experience been like? I mean, the calls. The fact that you always have to go back home. So you go back home once, or every other weekend, or every weekend?
No, I just went home once.
Once?
Because I come from very far.
Yes.
So
but do the constituents understand that?
Yes, the constituents understand that Accra is very far from Garo. We are in the northeastmost part of Ghana.
Yeah.
Just like Laura at the northwestmost part of Ghana.
Right.
And transportation to that place is very difficult. You take a flight, get to Tamale, take a car, and you travel about 4 hours, almost 5 hours to get there. So I've made them to understand, and they understand me. They know that until we are in a good break, I can't be coming home all the time.
So anytime there's a social event, say there's an outdooring, there's a funeral, there's a wedding, ceremony and so on, what do? You have to send your little widow's mite.
Sure, yeah.
Back home.
Yeah, those are social interactions that normally I was doing before I became a member of Parliament. And even those who are not a member of Parliament, they all go. So it's just to make sure at least I send somebody to go and represent me, to tell them that, doctor is busy, you've sent him. And they know I've made them to understand that my first days would be to study the work of Parliament, the rudiments, learn the basics, before I can fully participate in the discourse of Parliament. So they are aware I'm at the learning curve, and I'm studying Parliament to know how I can work. I have to create linkages with people, with institutions, and then the rest, so that I can fully participate. So this month, these few months ahead of us, is really going to be a time that I will use actually to understand the work of Parliament. Parliament has a document called the Order of Proceedings, the order book. So you have to learn it very well. Before you get up to talk, you must know based on what you are getting up to talk, that they don't shut you down. And when you are going to contribute to a debate, you have to make sure you study it properly before you come. So we are learning the rudiments. With time, we'll have more time to go back home, at least to be meeting our people.
Do you already feel drained financially?
The campaign was not easy. So that one alone is not a small problem.
So post your election victory?
Post-election victory, I have not been so much that pressurized from the community. I think they understand, and I'm happy they do. At least some of them, they'll just text and say, we are just checking on you. We wish you well. We are just checking on you. We wish you well. They'll call and say, look, take time and rest, take time and relax, because you are sleeping very late. We watch you discussing issues in Parliament up to 11 o'clock, up to 10 o'clock. Are you getting good food to eat? I see they sympathize with me. So for now, they are rather trying to relieve the stress on me for now. That is what I observe from my community and my constituency. So I'm happy about that, and I want to thank them for that understanding so far.
A friend of mine who watches the show quite fairly regularly, he just sent me a message. He said, he was just informing me that you own a hospital in Tamale.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I have.
Charlie, you're a big man, oh.
Oh, no, it's not a big man. It's something we are all doing to
small.
help the society. Yeah, in my private life, I started with my hospital in 2011, even before I became the medical director of Rich Hospital. So when I was kicked out, unfortunately, by the current government, the previous government. I just went back there to continue with the hospital. I think it's one of the, let me say, few hospitals in Tamale that many people patronize. And that is where I do my small things to get my little resources to run my family and help society.
I see. So you're not a member of parliament. You've been attending parliamentary work in the last 1 month or so. Are you happy with so far what you've experienced, as far as the parliament work is concerned? Because you're a backbencher. And we all know that backbenchers have their own kinds of limitations. In terms of the extent to which they can contribute to parliamentary work. Are you happy? Would you have wished you were at the front?
I wish to be in the front one day. I can't wish to be in the front today. I have to learn, like I've said, the rudiments of parliament, get to understand it very well and know how to project myself and earn the merit to be in the front bench. Maybe come back again and then come back again, and then I can be in the front bench. But if you're talking of satisfaction about parliament, yes, I'm satisfied about parliament so far, but there are few things that has happened in parliament that I think that it shouldn't have happened, and they shouldn't be happening because they lump all of us to blame us when the public decide to scrutinize this. And in that way, you walk in and they say you are a member of parliament, and say, oh, but you are there, you are not even doing anything, you are destroying public property. You feel bad.
Or you are corrupt.
Or you are corrupt.
Yes, they say you are corrupt.
Yes, so, so far, the workings of parliament and what has happened so far has been okay, because you see the time frame in which we have been able to do a lot of things, approving ministers and then the rest, has been very good. But in the process, certain issues have arisen that actually has marred the beauty of honorable members. Yes, the respect that people give to us. We shouldn't let the suspicion of the speculations of corruption be some other things to be added to it, like we are indisciplined, we are not very ethical, we are not morally upright. Those things I really didn't like it when they happened. And I hope that our minority group, that is the group that really triggered this, some of them, I will not say all of them, because some of them too are not happy about what is happening, but because they are whipped to follow what they are doing, you can't exonerate them. But actually what happened, the sin that happened in the vetting was uncalled for. As I was saying, it's uncalled for because there are various ways to protest against something you don't like in parliament. If you don't like any issue in parliament, there are several ways. You can get up and talk and then stand on your position. You can decide to excuse yourself and say, look, I've washed my hands. Afenyomakin washed their hands from Sam George. There was no problem. They washed their hands from Okudzeto Ablakwa. There was no problem. So if you thought that you were not going to participate in the vetting, what you do is that you bring up a motion. And if everybody in the vetting committee, appointment committee, approves of it, you disperse. But if majority says they would continue, you allow them to continue and you wash your hands. And that would have been the simplest thing to do. But refusing and obstructing Parliament from doing its work, according to the Constitution, no one can obstruct Parliament from doing its work. It didn't say that parliamentarians can obstruct Parliament from doing its work. But no one can obstruct Parliament from doing the work. They have set up an appointment committee to vet nominees from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to be ministers for approval, for him to ascend, swear them in as ministers. If you think that you don't want to participate in it, you don't destroy the gadgets that will aid in the vetting of those people. It means that you yourself have obstructed the business of Parliament, and you have no right. The only thing you can do, which the law allows, is that you protest and find people to support you to vote against what they were going to do, or you simply wash your hands like they did and go out. So in fact, this was a very big disappointment. I could see how remorseful they are. I've seen they are now remorseful.
In fact, they have apologized.
Yes, they have apologized and even apologized to the clerk that they harassed. And I think that is in good faith. But that that does not take away the impression Ghanaians have now have on we in Parliament. And I think we have to leave Jojo and then follow the rules of Parliament, and then that way we can work happily. So that is the only thing that has made me a little bit unhappy about Parliament so far. But I think we'll go over it.
Yeah.
It's a good start.
You know, it's quite unfortunate for you because you're coming into Parliament at a time when, for me, civility in the House appears to be, you know, declining and deteriorating at a very fast pace. And I would really hope and wish that, you know, after the Manobeja committee, the outcome of that committee meeting, which is, of course, has been put on hold, and we know why. But for me, the appropriate sanctions would have to be applied for whoever is found culpable. I mean, otherwise, people would think that it's always business as usual, and this will not stop. You know, it's a subculture which must be dealt with. It must be nipped in the bud. That's the point I'm trying to make. Anyway, so we are in the season of appointments galore. And just yesterday, the presidency issued a batch of about, I believe, 13 deputy ministers. And of course, the conversations triggered all kinds of conversations. And there were some persons who, some section of the public or a section of the public were expecting to hear their names being mentioned or to have been involved or to be a part of this list that came out. Because these were people who were like the arrowheads, were spearheading the conversation in a specific sector, you know. And so just as we've seen at the ministerial level, most of the persons who have been appointed were persons whose voices were very clear or who were spearheading the conversation in that particular sector. So not many people were surprised. So and so at the deputy ministerial position, there was a similar expectation. And so if you look at today's Daily Post, it reports that APAC 12 others nominated for deputy ministerial positions. But before we even look at this, I don't know whether we should start with this and then, because there's some other issues that have come up. Okay, maybe let's start with this.
Right.
And then I have a personal concern that I want to raise.
Okay. And
maybe you can help me address that. But the Daily Post this morning is reporting, it says, APAC 12 others nominated for deputy ministerial positions. And Ebenezer, the story says that President John Dramani Mahama has nominated 13 people for appointments as deputy ministers. The list includes renowned legal practitioner Justice Shrem Sai and Ayawaso West Wuogon MP Kumfama John Dumelo. Justice Shrem Sai has been nominated as the Deputy Attorney General and Minister of Justice Designate, while John Dumelo has been nominated as the Deputy Minister of Food and Agriculture Designate. The Member of Parliament of Esu Jaman Thomas Nyako Ampim has been named by President Mahama as the Minister of Finance Designate, while MP of Bursa South, Dr. Clement Abbas Apak, has been nominated as the Deputy Minister of Education Designate. The President also nominated Timpani MP, that's Lydia Lamisi Akamvariba, as Minister of State, Public Sector Reforms Designate. These latest nominations bring the total number of Mahama's appointees to 56. So there's 4 more to go. Let's hope for those who have given up, isn't it? 4. Anyway, this means that the President has 4 more ministerial nominations to make, giving his promise to work with only 60 ministers and deputy ministers. So you have Ebenezer Oklite Teblabi, Minister of Interior, and Esbroja Jemfi. Telabi. Okay, so I mean it's a typo mistake. And Esbroja Jemfi is the Minister of Defense, Deputy Minister of Defense. So Clement Abbas Apak is going to Minister of Education. Richard Jambensa, Minister of Energy and Green Transition. Al Hassan Saibu Suhini, Minister of Roads and Highways. Justice Shremsai, Minister of Justice and Attorney General. Retana Odole Sowa, Minister of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Gisela Tete Agbotui, Ministry of Works, Housing and Water Resources. Yusuf Isaac Ajaja, Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. John Kofi Seto Domelo, Minister of Food and Agriculture. Samson Ahi, Minister of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. The President has also nominated Lydia Lamisi Akanvariba, after I've read this already. Felix Ofosu-Kwakye signed this, acting spokesperson to the President. What are your general thoughts? But before you give me your general thoughts, let me just announce that Reverend Intim Fojo has joined us. Reverend Intim Fojo has joined us. He's the MP for Offenso South. And, Ascent South. Why do I keep saying Offenso? Ascent South, sorry. Ascent South, as a former Deputy Education Minister as well. Honorable, good to see you. How are you?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Charlie, anyway, you know, he used to be occasionally would meet at a joint in Laboni and eat wachi. And then all of a sudden he decided he stopped coming. You know, and we've been trying to find out why he stopped coming. So I'm happy he's here.
We're still mourning.
You're still mourning?
Yes, but are they back?
Hey. Well, they've been back since.
They never stopped.
They never stopped.
Then I've been missing out.
In fact, when the woman died, I think it must have been a week or so, a week or two later.
Then I've been missing out.
Yeah.
Well,
because they don't want to starve me and you.
Oh, then this Sunday
we should be able to. Yeah, we have to. Because the membership are complaining.
Absolutely. We have to get back.
Membership are complaining, you know. So we'll be glad to have you join us again. You know. And Rashid says hi.
Oh yeah, my good friend.
Yeah, Rashid. He says hello.
Great.
Yeah,
great. He's a great guy.
Anyway, good to see you again. And the whole of this is your first time here?
Yeah, this is my first time.
Oh, first time in 2025.
A good morning to you and a good morning to my good friend, Dr.
Thomas
Anaba.
You still having. I want to get the proper pronunciation of the middle name. Is it Winsome?
Winsome. Yeah, it's a local name.
Okay.
What does it mean? Meaning good God.
Oh, good God.
Good God.
Oh,
yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
Dr. Thomas Winsome Anaba. Great.
Yes.
Yeah, so generally your thoughts on the nominations that have come through?
Okay, thank you very much. I think it's not bad.
Okay.
Before people are chosen or nominated by the president, you know, a lot of work goes behind it. There is competence, it's loyalty, there is integrity of the person, acceptability by the general party folks. So it's not only one yardstick they use several factors in getting one person nominated. So far, all those they've nominated, I don't have a problem with them, and the majority of Ghanaians don't have a problem with them. What Ghanaians are concerned is that we try to ensure that we do what we promise. We fulfill our promises. You may think somebody is not competent because you've not seen him in the front line, or you think that somebody is better than him, but the president may have, or the party may have, a reason why they want that person to be there to execute some particular agenda. So it is early days. Let's give the president and the party the free hand, guided by consultation, to nominate the people. APAC, everybody knows APAC, so I don't think there's much problem. Domelo, everybody knows Domelo. The work he does, despite being an actor, we know him to be a very good farmer. So perhaps the issues of farmers will be brought on board. And a whole lot of, all of them have the competence to manage their places. We've seen certain ministers who have been appointed before, previous ministries, who were appointed to their ministries, and people doubted their competence, but they were able to manage those places very, very well. So I would, in essence, say that this is being carried out, as I'm aware, with consultation, and also ensuring that there's a good regional balance so that every region gets a representation. There's a very good gender mix so that at least our women would also be represented in it. So to me, I don't have much to say about them. I don't have any qualms against anybody there, but I hope that Ghanaians would support them, and all party folks would support them to push forward the agenda of John Dramani Mahama of resetting Ghana, and in that way we'll benefit from their skills that they are going to bring to the ministries to bear. Right. So
there are already people who. Okay, so before I ask you that, let me also pick his general thoughts about what he makes of the. Because I'm sure some of them are your friends. Some of them you've been in Parliament with for a while now. What do you think about the nominations that have come up?
Yeah, thank you, Moro. I'm grateful to be on your show, and good morning to you. Good morning to my good friend, Honorable Dr. Anaba. Of course, our cherished viewers. I wish to congratulate all the nominees who have been announced to have been nominated to various deputy ministerial portfolios, and one that is slated to go to become Minister of State for Public Sector Reform, Honorable Lydia. I want to congratulate all of them, well deserved, and I know that all of them will be able, they have the capacity to be able to deliver and to support the agenda of President Mahama. All of us wish them to succeed. We want them to be able to succeed in the agenda. They claim they want to reset Ghana, but if Ghana gets well and gets better, and all the gains that we have had over the years are consolidated upon and even improved on, it is better for all of us. There's a local adage that says that if you want, if you want the downfall of a nation, you also live in it. And so we want Ghana to succeed, and for that, all the supports that we will give them, we will. And I do not have any reservation about any of them. As a matter of fact, so far from the substantive ministerial appointments, all those that we have vetted to the new ones, the deputy ministerial nominees that have come, I do not have any substantive reservation except for a few concerns, which if I get the opportunity, I would, in the course of the show or my submission, I'll chip in for some of them to be able to pay attention to, and I'm sure if they change from certain ways and actually reposition themselves, they will be in a better position to serve Ghana better. For you to have the opportunity to be among the 60 nominees, so far 56, 4 more to go, of President Mahama is a privilege. And you must see it to be a rare opportunity, not to come, not to have the posture of being rewarded for something you have done in the past, or how well you spoke, or some, advocacies or some demonstrations you led and for which you have been rewarded. It's not about loyalty, reward, but they must view it to be an opportunity to be called, to be part of the government, to solve certain problems, because you are there to solve problems. And if they view it that way, they will most consensuously deliver. Their credentials are not in doubt, but even more important is the ability to deliver.
Yeah.
You can have all the track record, you can have all the technical competence and qualifications, double PhDs, double masters, and professional qualifications to the sector you're going, but if you may have been ranking for 8 years or 7 years in Parliament for that particular sector. However, the most important thing is delivering, bringing all those skill sets and experience and the know-how to delivering and supporting. They must also realize that they have only 4 years in the context of President Mahama's government. President Mahama has 4 years.
So time is of essence.
So time is of essence.
Yeah.
And looking at the philosophy of President Mahama, I do not think that all the system we maintain for the 4 years. So the likelihood that there will be reshuffles.
You're talking about an early reshuffle?
Yes.
Whether early or late? There will
Yes,
be a reshuffle?
in somewhere midline.
Okay.
I perceive that there may be reshuffles because now there's a lot, for whatever position one has been appointed to, they must be minded that there are about 3-4 people within their own party who are equally competent to deliver at any day.
And in fact, they can't wait.
You know,
they are lacing their boots.
Dr. Anaba,
they are warming up on the touchline.
I can list about 4 substantive ministerial portfolios that Dr. Anaba, my good friend seated here, can step in and deliver at any time.
Like the health ministry.
Like the health ministry.
Yeah, there's quite a number of
Yes. He can.
The former Ghana Medical Association guy is there. What's his name?
Prof. Bayo.
Yeah,
Yes.
Bayo is there. Professor
Dr.
Bayo is there.
Zaneto
You are
is
there.
there.
Dr. is there.
So
that's
Dr.
3
Grace,
right there.
Professor Grace
Ayensu is
Ayensu.
there.
So that is the unique opportunity they have, those who have been named, to go in there, to eschew arrogance, to eschew the posture that I know it all, but to be there to be a team player and to focus on the mandates given them and to support the president. So if you ever get the opportunity to even serve full term for 4 years, you must realize that generations of this country, the problems of generations, whether to be solved or to be aggravated, depends on your 4-year mandate. And if you even get the chance to serve for 2 years, 3 years, even a year, you need to make a difference that forever will remember you for. So that is the mark I want them to go in. Okay. They ought not to go in with a view, like these days, it appears in our part of the world, you know, in sub-Saharan Africa, when someone is named to a particular sector, the first question is constituents or chiefs or other stakeholders would ask us, now, where are they? Is the place sweet? Is the place nice? You know, but I don't think.
Well, isn't that an important question?
It may be for the questioners.
The pressure on you,
but you see, it is important that gradually we shift from that. So I wish them well. But one concern that I've noticed is that out of the 60, well, I don't know the 4 that will come, but is it not interesting that the daughter of the former President Jerry John Rawlings, Dr. Zaneto Agyeman Rawlings, very, very astute, politician, respected medical doctor.
Third-time MP.
Third term. We came to Parliament together. She has distinguished herself, but her name has still not found expression among the 56. That is interesting to observe. It is also interesting to observe so far that the brother of the former president, the man, President, Professor, His Excellency Professor Atta Mills, may his soul rest in peace, who gave President Mahama the opportunity to serve in the higher capacity as vice president, and then his exit gave way for him to become president. Is a third-term member of parliament, a respected member of parliament, fantastic gentleman, tons of experience. His name has still not found expression.
You mean Samuel Fifi Atta Mills?
Yes, Mr. Samuel Fifi Atta Mills. It's also interesting.
Oh my God!
It's also interesting to note that much as I agree that not all, and like in my earlier submission, there are so many people who are equally competent and suitable, but 60 ought to start, or 60 have to go in at any point in time. But it's just interesting to make these observations. Honorable Adongo is still not named. Honorable Bedra is still not named. Honorable Nochu is still not named. And a number of them. So it's just Honorable Agalga, very forceful when it comes to matters of defense and interior. He has experience as former Deputy Minister for Interior. He's been ranking on the Defense and Interior Committee for almost 8 years or 7 years. So all these are equally competent persons. And that should be the reflection for those who have been fortunate to be named among the 60 to go in there and to discharge their mandate to the best of their ability, and to know that they have the support of the rest of the 100 and out of the 180, if you have about so far about 40 or so are in there, or a little more than that. They should know that they have their support. They have the support of the minority as well. We will support them to succeed. But the posture also for those sitting on the bench at the moment, whose names have not found expression in the 60 or 56, must also be a positive one to support, because tomorrow it may be your name. And so the fact that you have not been named today should not get you to be discouraged. After all, you campaign to be a member of parliament, and you have got that. And so fundamentally, you must find fulfillment in the fact that you have the unique opportunity among 32 million people in this country, 276 being selected to serve in the legislature. You are counted among them. So every opportunity you have there, serve to the best of your ability. Tomorrow, you may never know where you may be taken. So let us all support those who have been named, and let them go there and deliver to ensure that Ghana continues to move forward.
I see. I don't know whether you have any quick reactions to this, because I have my follow-up questions.
Yes, very interested. Mentioning some people's names and the rest. At the end, you see, what he's trying to portray, and what I think I've perceived, is just that we have a lot of competent people in NDC. We have a lot. And we only have 60 to pick. So if we had picked all those he has mentioned and left the others, he would have sat here and made the same complaint. So at the end, as I've said, the president was looking for competence. He was looking for people who are team players. He was looking for people who have integrity. All of us have integrity, but definitely we all can't be there. So today, it's somebody's turn and another. Let's take it, if they had won, God forbid, if they had won 50 minutes that they were going to appoint, perhaps if they had taken him and left somebody, people would have complained the same way. So Mama has no choice but to choose those everybody, majority of the team that is doing the selection have agreed. And we, those who are left, should support all of them, like he said, to be able to deliver the promises Mama has made. So I don't think that pronouncing people's names, calling people's names will trigger anything. I think we are all happy with what has happened. So this little, for a better word, this little mischief.
You are happy.
Little mischief with.
You are happy. We know you are happy.
My friend.
and that we can grant.
So let's leave it there. There is no way he could have put in 180 something MPs as ministers. Some would definitely stay. Besides that, those who were not in parliament equally worked, and they also deserve some chance. So all what we can say is that we are going to deliver, and we hope that Ghanaians would follow us to deliver. We hope that they will collaborate with us in Parliament to make sure policies that we are going to bring, bills that we are going to bring, are passed very swiftly to enable us to deliver. The good thing is that we are not appointing 120-something ministers. We are reducing the pressure, the burden on the payroll of the ministries to make sure we use that money and push it into judicious places so that at least Ghana would improve. When Ghana improves, then we can now take luxury to do what we want.
I have just some, a little more.
Quick comments to make.
Yes. It's on reiterating the support the minority has given. Moro, you recall that there has never been any minority who has ever supported majority to support their president, put in place their ministerial appointments in place within the fastest period than the 9th Parliament has done. We are on record to have vetted and approved ministers faster than any Parliament has done. And for that, they need to recognize that and give us that credit. There are a number of things we, by consensus, agreed and waived. For instance, the number of the 2 weeks period that each nominee had to be advertised for memos to be received from the general public before vetting is scheduled, we waived that. So there were times when nominees were announced today, by the third day or even the next day, we're scheduling them for vetting. We are still been waiting to complete the Committee of Selections job in constituting the select committees. We are not done that yet.
Because for now you only have three. You have the business committee, you have the selection committee, and then you have the appointments committee.
Yes, and even the appointment committee is not conclusive because it will only be completed when you have the subject matter experts from the various relevant committees joining.
Yeah.
However, we have been able to compromise and to support them. So that support we have indicated right from the beginning.
Okay.
And again, on certain portfolios like Honorable Obani Boama going to the place, going to the Ministry of Defense, he's a man that I know will be able to discharge and acquit himself. And Honorable Muntaka, Interior, my condolences to him. I understand that he lost the mother a few days ago. Honorable Harun Idrisu, most suited for Education Ministry, and I know that he will succeed there. There's a very complex ministry. It's complex because education is a bedrock of every socio-economic, pursuit. And the far that as a country together we have taken our education is quite a standard. However, I have every confidence that he will take on from here the legacies we have established, the access that we have opened, the quality that we have improved. You remember sometime 2015, there was a general crisis, which the whole country came together, did consultations, saw that, yes, we're doing well on access, particularly at the basic side, but we needed to up our game on the quality. We benchmarked that of India, differentiated learning, targeted instruction. We thought that, okay, it could work. We put it in our local context, IPA, UNICEF did some pilot project, on and on and on. We have taken combination of interventions, World Bank supported. Now at scale, we have been able to now go to a point where differentiated learning is going to be scaled, particularly from this year, from the 10,746 schools to all schools. It is important that that is sustained.
Okay.
It is important that the free SHS policy that has doubled access from 830,000 enrollment in 2016 to now almost 1.5 million students currently in schools ought to be maintained.
Okay.
There are some challenges and have superior, initiatives that will augment on against. They bring it on board, and then we go on. They want to extend it to private schools.
In fact, we have a whole conversation to have on education. So don't worry,
we'll
get there.
So we congratulate him, and we hope that he will succeed. Honorable Sam George is a man I've worked with closely. We worked together for about 3 years on the Human Social Rights and Family Values Bill. And he's a man of conviction. When he's convinced about the cause, he goes all out, he works hard, he's intelligent. And so I know without the same posture going to, he's been a ranking for communications committee for almost 7 to 8 years. So he's technically sound, and I know his leadership qualities will be brought to bear. Except that when he had a rare opportunity, to add a feather in his cap when he appeared before the appointments committee, when he was reminded, prompted to rescind certain utterances he had made to the Chief Justice and to President Akufo-Addo. He took a decision. I don't fault him for decisions people take, but I'm saying that he missed a rare opportunity to add a feather in his cap. Okay. If he had said, I'm sorry, if he had retracted, would have been a huge feather in his cap. However, we support him to go. I know he will be able to ensure that some improvement and there's massive gains with certain teething challenges like cyber security. I'm sure all of us seated here have had challenges with impersonation.
But you abstained from...
We abstained and we gave our reasons.
From approving him.
We indicated.
Yes.
We indicated.
So it was a majority decision.
Yes. So we indicated the grounds for which we abstained. Same for Honorable Ablakwa. I've worked with him for over almost 7 years on the Foreign Affairs Committee. We've traveled the world together. He has extensive knowledge, and acumen in foreign relations, and so I know he's most suited for the role. And except to also say that when we are in opposition, and there are certain attempts to make our government popular, we must also be minded about posterity and be restrained not to go into excesses.
Yeah.
For instance, the attempt to want to portray one as the saint and everybody else
is a bad one.
Because it creates enmity for the political class. We must not attempt to create an impression that it is wrong for MPs to have car loans, because it will be deducted from their salaries. So if you take yours, you've bought various cars, as he admitted before the appointment committee, even in some occasions, buying combined harvests for your constituents, and then you turn around, playing to the gallery, inciting the public against MPs who are taking loans, car loans. It's something that he should check going into.
He just wants to defeat state capture. He said that's
but what is state capture about an MP who isn't, like any other staff of Metro TV or any organization, going to take loan on his salary? It will be deducted from their salary, and then he's going to buy a vehicle with it to come to work, just to discharge his duty. What is state capture about that?
Okay.
Then on Aura, the interesting thing about, I am for every attempt to recover loot. And if you are recovering in that same principle, then you look at it from the Fourth Republic. If you can't even go way back to the 80s. But is it not interesting, Moro, that of all the extensive so-called exposés of Aura, we haven't seen any oral expose relating to 1992 to 2000. We haven't seen any state capture or loot from 2009 to 2016, but it's all related to 2017.
Oh, but Ablakwa has, look, Ablakwa and Domele, who have said this time and again.
Hold on. If you want us to debate it, we may, but I'm just saying,
I want to give you free information.
Yes. I would have been
free information.
What information?
Discussion.
Yeah. Well.
I have heard Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, Domele, Yao Domelevo, have said a time without number that anybody, any Ghanaian, who has any information about any state looting or state capture from 1992 to today is free to submit that information to them. And they're fine with that.
So, Moro, is it not interesting?
Yes.
That none such information has come from they themselves.
Yeah, but how do you believe that?
Moro, maybe
they are only recipients of information.
Don't downplay. Some of us are restrained. But don't downplay the sensitivity of reputations smeared out there. When people have not had the opportunity to even be heard for their side to be given. Let me give you one typical example. About 3 weeks or so to election. Let me just...
It's a fact.
This is not a contentious matter, but it's just
for
what it's worth. Yeah. Just about 2-3 weeks to the election. I was very busy in the constituency campaigning. And then from one village, I had addressed the chiefs and people. I got back into my car, ready to move to the next village. And then I got a prompt, and I told my driver, tune into Peace FM. It was about 12:13 or so. Interestingly, as soon as he tuned in, here was Ablakwa mentioning my name, indicting me for things I even knew nothing about. And then, and so quickly, I had to call in Peace FM. It had to do with the rice saga. You remember the rice?
Oh, yeah, rice saga, yes.
I'm not a rice dealer. I don't know anything about. I'm not in charge of supplies or anything. But he put my name in there, and the publics, for some time believed it until I came out. Same on your show. It took the graciousness of Randy. I just called him in. I'm in the middle of your discussion. My name keeps coming up. Then Annie called me, and then I explained my side. Before, but you see how many Ghanaians are there may be smeared in certain, so-called exposés that they are innocent, just like I was, but may not have the opportunity to call into shows timeously to clear their names. So that I'm saying that somebody may have a report, you may even do your own interceptions and all that, but the rules of natural justice, it is only fair that you hear Dr. Naba, so somebody has, by whistleblowing, brought his name into something, just hear his side. It is only fair. Before you go and damage Dr. Anaba's very sterling reputation in the public, just because he's a politician, but in the end, he may be proven innocent. So I'm just saying that he's a fantastic gentleman. He can do the work very well, but as he's moving into the world of diplomacy, it's a place that requires absolute circumspection, very sensitive matters. Okay. And so before you divulge, before you disclose to your political advantage certain matters, if you don't check and verify, it could strain Ghana's relationship with many countries. But I know that he will go.
So in principle, let me get this. In principle, you don't have a problem.
None at all.
With oral.
Not at all.
It's just the modus operandi.
Yes.
I.e., where names are mentioned.
No, I don't have a problem with any anti-graft attempt,
right?
To want to recover anything.
But is this thing where names are mentioned?
But their method,
and then these are not people who have been found to be guilty by any competent court of competent jurisdiction.
You want to create
and it creates a bad image for the person.
If a politician owns a property, it's not sinful. If Dr. Anaba owns how many properties, he has worked hard for it. So the fact that today he's a politician, and you discover that he's staying here or there or has his property, it would be most unfair for me to say that Dr. Anaba has obtained these properties unlawfully before because he's a politician.
Or to assume that it's an ill-gotten wealth.
So we don't have to create that misperception out there for us. It destroys us.
All right.
And it doesn't put all of us.
All right.
Particularly, and the last point I will land on, my good friend Honorable Ablakwa, the first thing he did when he appeared before the vetting committee was to insist that the chairman of the committee and the ranking apologize to him, his wife and his family.
Yes.
Because if he felt that some statements the minority leader made had smeared his reputation. He demanded it. So I'm just saying, in all fairness, you must also be sensitive to the reputation of others so that you don't just, damage people's reputation. When you know that yours is important to you, he went there with 4 or 3 bags full of documents relating to others' properties, others' lands, dealings here and there. But when he was requested to bring just 9 documents related to his business, his property, so-called property, he said he's renting, but not. He's a successful man. Why shouldn't he be bold to say, I own this property, I own this property? If Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa owns even 5 properties, he has worked hard. He deserves to have them. He should be bold. But because of certain utterances, you'll be shy and say, well, I rent. And he wasn't able to produce those documents within the time. I later heard that he had submitted some. So I'm just saying that you carry around loads of things. So you point one finger at somebody, the rest comes to you. So let us all be that, circumspect.
So those are the documents.
Absolutely. These are all documents of people, relating to people. But when your rent agreement that you so-called said, you couldn't bring it. Your business documents, you couldn't bring it. But you carry things about people. So I'm just saying that we are doing a lot of harm to ourselves as a political class. Because it's not everybody in the political class that is successful because they misappropriated funds.
That's fine. It's a fair point.
I think he said certain things that we have to at least make some comments on.
But he will succeed. Now, congratulate him. I know he's a very good
They are good friends.
Yes. He will do well.
Yeah. Ablakwa was coming for vetting. The vetting committee, the appointment committee, gave him the list of things he should bring. He brought those ones. Then you request for additional information. How would he know you wanted them? And how sure are you that the bags that were lying there were people's documents? That's one thing. Did you enter the bag? You didn't enter the bag. You didn't come close to the bag.
He himself said it. All these are
so let's leave that. Let's leave that aside. Oral is something very good that you yourself have accepted.
No,
If you think that there are issues, like Moro said, if you think that there are issues that you want to bring, there are complaints, there is robbery or corruption or whatever anywhere that you want to bring to their notice, you are free to bring them. In addition, Oral has not accused anybody, has not declared anybody to be a criminal yet. What Oral is doing is gathering information, and it is open to the general public, including yourself, including whoever was a minister before, including who was a president, to go to them and present whatever allegation you have against anybody. Whatever they are giving to them for now, they are allegations. And they can say that, yes, it is alleged that Dr. Anaba bought a school bus. Anybody can allege. It is up to me to go to them and tell them, I've heard my name, that somebody has come to present a document alleging I've done this. If you heard about your name and you call them and tell them that it is not true, then they'll find a way of either dropping it or going into the investigation. So I don't want us to sit here and be blaming Oral. Oral is good and anybody can do it. Look, when JJ left Ghana and Kufuor took place, senior journalist Kweku Bako did a lot of investigations about JJ's bank accounts. It's similar to Oral. And it was done. So why do we have to complain now? If you think that you have a problem with any NDC member who has done anything wrong, go and report it to them, or you can even go to the criminal investigation department of the police and report it for them to investigate. You have the free will to do it. I want to come back to the Free Senior High School that he's talking about. Yes, Free Senior High School.
But you don't think the point he raised about names being mentioned when indeed these are not people who are guilty of the alleged crimes they were purported to have committed, and then how it creates a certain perception in the minds of Ghanaians that perhaps the person's a bad girl or a bad man or bad woman? You don't think it's something that can be fine-tuned?
It can be fine-tuned, but they have not come out to completely say that this person is guilty. They are suspects, or they are alleged. I know in his case.
What Reverend is saying is that in Ghana here, when something comes up and your name is mentioned, even before we delve deeper or we even get to the bottom of it, people will already pronounce you as being guilty.
Sure.
You know, so if it is possible for names not to be mentioned, but the issue will be brought up and say name withheld for now because of reputational issues,
we can polish that.
Exactly. So
and
that's what
this can be collaterals because there are so many reports that have come and we have seen the benefits of it. People have reported fertilizers being stuck in houses, thousands of bags that should have been given to farmers to improve on agriculture, but they were stuck in people's houses. Those names have come up. If some people's names come out and they are not guilty, and they have been smeared because of that, I think these are few collaterals that has happened. Generally, all those that their names have appeared. No, we can say that in any big investigations you are doing, people will definitely come in, and they might be accused wrongfully, and their names may be mentioned inadvertently.
I mean, so there are instances where you can't call a spade a tool for digging.
Yes,
it is what it is.
Right. Yes.
The bags were found in Dr. Thomas Anaba's house, and it's a fact.
Yes, it's a
you have evidence to actually back that claim that you're making. So that one is not an issue.
Yeah.
But where the issue comes up, I mean, whether it's few and far between, it's another matter.
Yeah.
But where the issue comes up is when names are mentioned. Okay, when there is no any hardcore evidence to back it.
Yeah.
Then becomes a problem, and that's where he's coming from.
Yes, I agree with him. That's why I'm saying there could be some few collaterals. We saw in Teshi or where what happened there, what they went and saw.
Don't contest this much.
Right. Okay. I'm just trying to let you understand that there can be some amount of collateral damage somewhere. No one is perfect, and Oral has come to help. It doesn't come to
When
destroy
your name-
anybody.
Yeah.
Like
your name
leader.
is mentioned.
No, like
Then
leader
you'll
came to
understand.
minority
Unfairly.
leader came to apologize for doing something. Somebody too might have said something in the heat of
you know what?
So why didn't he
I think
apologize?
I think Afenyo,
When the minority leader
Afenyo is
apologized-
apologizing too many times. Wow, what is this? We'll take a short break. Let's take a short break. Let's take a short break. When we come back from the break, we would. Oh no! I don't want us to. No, I don't want to. No, you know what? I don't want us to really litigate about this because we don't have all day.
It's only fair.
When we come back, there are issues on education, and I'm happy that Reverend John Inti, is here, because you have played in that space for a while, and so you have the gravitas and the authority to speak on the matter. It's about teacher training allowance. When we come back, we would look at this. Of course, we're going to situate it within the context of the National Education Forum, which Professor Katie Odro has been tasked to plan and submit a report in the next 2 weeks. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, this is Good Morning Ghana. Please stay with us.
Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bready poor mattress anymore? Don some slippers, then follow me.
It is part of the mattress we did the front there.
Yeah?
That be the mattress where the dead put.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all.
Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like Ash Foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
This is Coastal Park, a well-demarcated gated community carved out to host your residential and commercial properties. With a minimum of 40,000 Ghana cedis, you too can own a piece of the serene site.
It's just 50 minutes drive from the Central University College, as well as just some 5 minutes drive from the Ningo Senior High School. More so, just in case you live somewhere in Adam and you want to take that excursion to many of those areas along the Volta estuary, this is the right property for you to invest in.
Great news from Estate Masters Limited. We're running a 10% discount promo on all sites to celebrate our 10th year anniversary. Join in the celebration by becoming an Estate Master. Enjoy benefits such as free site visits throughout the duration, free indenture, and free site plan. Contact us for more information. Remember, T's and C's apply. Estate Masters Limited, your most preferred estate partner.
You're the answer to my prayers. You're with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know tonight.
All right, welcome back. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. I've been having a good time, and I'm sure the public has as well. We've been interacting with Reverend John Intimfojo, who is the MP for Asin South and also a former Deputy Education Minister. And also I have Dr. Thomas Anaba, who is also the MP for Garu and the former Medical Director for the Accra Regional Hospital. He's been here. The two of them have been with us in the last it's almost 2 hours or so. And it's been a very interesting conversation so far. Now, it's about appointment. I have just a final comment I want to make before we get into the education conversation. My final point the final comment that I want to make on this, or the question that I want to pose to the two of you is this. Now, we're beginning to see this whole thing about what appears to be political chameleonism, if there's anything like that. You know, where people have turned themselves into political chameleons. Yeah. We can't really know where they are. Yeah. And this is playing out more within in the appointment of people to agencies. At least sitting here, I know about 4 instances. There may be more. But it started with Reverend Yirinchi Fianko, how do you call him? The NCA guy, you know, and where NDC supporters were complaining about not even knowing where the guy belongs because he was during his term or his tenure at NCA, of course not as the boss, but he was playing a very critical role in NCA when media stations that were affiliated to the NDC were shut down. And so they won't accept it, you know, for him to be the next NCA boss. It was a big issue. If you follow the conversations on social media and even some of the traditional media, it was a very, very, very big issue. Finally, he got the nod. And then you come to Anthony Kwesi Sapon, who is the Ghana Revenue Authority acting boss, MD. And again, questions were being asked whether he's MPP or he's NDC. You know, because some say we've seen him at MPP Fora, we've seen him at NDC Forum, Ghana Revenue Authority, Sapon, you know, a friend saying, Anthony Kwesi Sapon. Yeah. That one too, big issue. You know, MPP say, but we thought he was MPP. NDC people say, we know he's NDC, big issue. And then we also saw that, and again, in the last few days, the matter of Edward Obeng Kenzo, who is the acting MD for Water River Authority, and how we're told that there's some tension that is brewing, you know, within the Ghana, in VRA, because the NDC caucus in VRA can't trust that he is one of them, and so they're kicking against his nomination. Big matter, and it's an issue which has been around the last 2 weeks or so, but it resurfaced just yesterday or 2 days ago. And to make matters worse, not even to make matters worse, the minority leader then grants an interview to a sister station, a radio station, a TV station. And then he himself expresses shock and surprise that an ECG, a former, well, not a former, but the but the acting ECG MD came to him, begged him, and you know he was an ECG board chair, and basically lobbied to become the ECG MD. And all of a sudden, and I'm talking about David Asamoah, that's what my Afenyo Makin is saying. I have not independently verified. And so he is surprised that this same David Asamoah is all over the place saying that he's NDC, and so he should be given the position or should be appointed as the ECG MD. What is happening? Why is there a challenge identifying where people belong really? Yep. You know, of course, look, personally, I don't think that there are certain positions that we must be necessarily given to partisan, you know, persons. But it is what it is, which is that, look, every political party, when they come to power, would want to make sure that they give these positions, especially that which requires a lot of technocratic capacity and ability. You know, the two political parties have decided that they're going to go partisan. But why are the appointing authorities struggling to tell where they belong? What's happening?
Yeah, just quickly before then,
Yes.
You raised a very important concern about observation about the apologies Honorable Minority Leader gave. Yes. I think it was noble that when he said things without malice, and when his attention was drawn to, particularly in relation to the clerk to the appointment committee, yes, he was noble and humble enough to concede and apologize and retract. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. And that is a cue that our colleagues on the other side, when their president had charged the new ministers to eschew arrogance, is a cue they should be taking from. But apart from Honorable Amabua, who conceded and apologized for comments passed, unfair comments passed on the president, none of the rest didn't refuse to do so. But security must take from that. But if your observation is that the apologies is becoming one too many, it's also a very fair observation of feedback that will be taken into consideration. In relation to the appointments, some State House appointments that have come, I think that as a country, we should gradually be moving away from winner takes all, approach.
Yeah.
If an NDC activist thinks that he one person or a group of 20 or 200 people who are agitating for the removal of GRA boss, for instance, or removal of VRA boss or any other, CEO so nominated for reason that they think they don't belong to them, they are not card-bearing members, or he doesn't attend their meetings. They should also not forget that not beyond those 200 people that are agitating, President John Mahama secured almost 6.3 million votes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what, and they don't know all these people who voted to amount to the 6.3 million. They are Ghanaians. I'm happy Doc is here, and as an astute medical practitioner, he would tell you when somebody has a medical condition, in critical times, when they find themselves on the surgical ward and an expert is operating on them, they will care less the political affiliation of that medical doctor who is operating on them. They will be concerned about the competence and qualification of that doctor. That is what is most important. And so GRA, VRA, and all this, and the political coloration, they are unfounded.
Right.
If they are raising certain key issues, for instance, like what the minority is raising in respect of the appointment made at Bank of Ghana, then you can see reason on some grounds that, they have some past charges or past criminal charges that are unresolved or convicted, or they were engaged in some impropriety, in their previous roles, or their competence and qualifications are in doubt, then you would want to listen to those agitations. But the fact that, we have never seen him in an NDC jersey, we have never seen him at an NDC rally, we have never seen, Doc, for instance, until recently, everybody knows him as a politician. Not many people would know where he belongs, because he had so professionally discharged his duties, so that all stakeholders are comfortable. So if, before even becoming member of parliament for the good people of Garu Timpani, he had to be appointed, even in our government, to certain positions, to head Confanoche, for instance, or Kolebu, or elsewhere. Why should it be, if the person goes in there, and he's also not doing certain things to the disadvantage of a certain political group, for them to have a feeling that you are betraying us, you are a traitor, or your actions are not in support of the vision of our party or president. Because the president, Mahama, has a certain vision, and you are not demonstrating as supporting that, or you are ignoring the grassroots also. But they are barely assuming office. So those grounds, for me, are far-fetched, and I think that superior grounds is what must be entertained. And those people who have been appointed to those positions ought to be allowed to do their work.
All right. Boss, you have any quick comments you want to make?
Yes, I think...
I'm sure even you get some calls.
This conversation should be put in context.
Right.
And there is nothing that happens in a vacuum.
Yeah.
I would like us to throw our minds back to previous transitions periods.
Yeah.
In the year 2000, we saw what happened to NDC, alleged NDC technocrats, and even government appointees in many government institutions. Kufuor came in, people were ransacked from their offices and thrown out. We thought it would die there. The good Asumdwe Hini came in 2009 and kept in post officers who were even politically appointed, DCEs, to be in charge of the district assemblies.
Because he wanted to move away from the...
Good. He wanted to move away. So that is what he did to make sure we do away with this. When you come, if you are not in my party...
Mills didn't appoint MPP DCs.
Oh, no, but he left the DCEs for 6 months.
A certain period.
Yes, I'm just mentioning it. At least he tried to ameliorate, to minimize the one party takes all, winner takes all concept, and also to try to foster some unity between the parties and make sure that the DCEs transition very comfortably and leave. Then Akufo-Addo came. Then the same story that was played in the year 2000 came back. People were kicked out. And let me tell my colleague here, Dr. Thomas Mensom Anaba, I got my appointment.
He's a victim.
I got my appointment to Rich Hospital through the Public Service Commission to be the director of Rich Hospital. I was just given a simple letter. We are restructuring Rich Hospital, and we find out that you are not competent to manage it. And sacked me. That was all. Just because they said I was affiliated to NDC. Just because I was appointed during the time of NDC. But I was not an NDC appointee. I was a Public Service Commission appointed me to be there.
And you find that wrong, right?
I found it wrong.
Yes. So if another person repeats it, is that not also wrong?
No, let me come. That is why we are talking. We have to bring history and tell you how your governments have been behaving. So the people believe that. That's why I don't blame them that much. Even though to me it's also not right. But I don't see why your government always wants to do the wrong, and when others are repeating it on you, which is allowed because the Constitution allows the president to appoint people to those positions. If he's appointing them, and the NDC followers, the NDC fraternary, believes that this gentleman did not participate in farming, contributing to the farm, then you can't be contributing to benefit from the proceeds.
From the harvesting.
That is what we should all stop. You understand? Because I won't suffer for you to come in.
When you were
helping the others, more to the point, they have complained that this other person even contributed in shutting the voice of NDC, which is genuine. Because to me, I don't like us to be using political colorations to appoint people to places if they don't have the competence. But if they have the competence, like the previous government said, Akufo-Addo's family they have the competence, that's why they are appointing them. The NDC too, they have the people who have the competence, and the president has the right to appoint the person he wants, and the party has the right to draw his attention that please, we are not satisfied with this, because as I told you from the beginning, definitely the appointments are done in consultation. But if the grassroots believe that there's a problem, they may rise up. Even though they may be wrong because they don't know what went into his consideration, the government would come to explain to them. But I think things are cooling down.
Okay.
But let's advise the MPP party. I know it will take them years to come to power. We will try to stabilize this winner-takes-all issues.
We wish you well.
And bring in the right technocrats to manage our institutions. So that when you come and you see anybody who is even an NDC flag card-bearing member in a position of a technocrat, you have to know that he is there for his competence and not because of the party. It also beholds on those who come in to try to work wholeheartedly with the party and look, and please the party foot soldiers. Look, there are those who suffer. I'm telling you.
But Doc, you being a victim, you claiming that you're a victim, which Moro has also corroborated.
Yeah.
You should be the one singing the song I'm singing.
I'm singing it.
Yes.
No. Moro, I am singing it. I am saying that
you should be the one putting forth the argument that if we have found something that is wrong, the fact that today you are on another side, if the same wrong is being repeated, it doesn't matter who is affected. You must see it equally unfair. For all these individuals we are talking about, I only know them not closely, by way of hearing their names, that they are working here, they are there.
Okay.
They are not personal friends.
Let me.
I do not know them to be MPP, neither do I know them to be any other political party.
All right.
I only know them for their professional experience and credentials. That's all.
Okay,
so I have no interest whatsoever.
Let's
but on principle,
let's make progress.
If it was unfair that a fine, astute medical practitioner as Dr. Anaba was treated in a way he finds unfair. If today it is Mr. Engineer Obeng Kenzo, it should be equally unfair. So what I'm saying is that the grassroots should be carried along. The narratives where 10 of us occur and everybody must change and people must ransack people's offices, and all these are the undertones that fuel post-election violence.
Right.
We must not get to a point where we'll finish an election and a party soldier, a party A is in office, and they rush straight to Burma camp and try to, by force take out the CDS.
That's another issue.
Let me ask him. So please, even if there were certain deficiencies that you identified in the previous government, there is a reason why, granted without admitting, there is a reason why you have won. And you should be correcting some of the things you identified as wrong.
Right.
And you should not be encouraging that food soldiers should go out there and be sacking.
Reverend, you are blaming the wrong person.
Your own president has just appointed.
You are blaming the wrong person. Just listen. He's blaming the wrong person.
People who are professionally distinguished themselves.
The people are complaining that they suspect them not to be pure NDC, but JM has appointed them.
Yes.
So in the first place, he should be clapping hands for JM. He has not acted. He has not acted the way Akufo-Addo and Kufuor did.
Don't bring
He's acting. He's acting differently.
Don't
he is bringing people that people don't see them to be purely NDC. Even your own minority leader.
You'll be degenerating.
No. Even your own minority leader is saying that this person came to approach him, meaning that he lobbied him, meaning that he's even aligned with NPP. But Mahama still saw something in him and appointed him. Mahama is not sacking people who are at post. That's one difference. That's what the difference. Mahama is not sacking people who are at post. Mahama is appointing. No. Those who are supposed to be appointed by him as a president. If you were there appointed by the previous, he has the right to remove you and appoint somebody. But the technocrats like me, I was not appointed by Mahama. I was sacked. That is the difference.
Okay.
But so you have to even thank John Dramani Mahama for trying to bring some cohesion, to trying to bring in people who he thinks that they are technocrats, irrespective of where they belong, whether they were with NDC campaigning or not. He is still appointing them. I am arguing on that. I only brought the history for you to understand that this, the way the foot soldiers are acting, is not because they just want to act. They are following the footsteps of what your previous government did. But our leader, John Mahama, is not doing that.
Let's make progress. Let's make progress. I want us to use the next.
Your own appointees, support them to succeed.
Don't you want to talk about education? I know you're passionate about education. I want us to use the next 15 minutes to look at the matters bothering on education. So we all know that an 8-member committee has been put together by the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to organize the National Education Forum. And they've been given 2 weeks. In fact, it was put together last week, so I'm sure they have less than 2 weeks to do that. Just simple, just present a plan as to how to organize it. And some of the committee is led by Professor George K.T. Udro, who is a former Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast. We also have the likes of Professor Goski Alabi, who is a professor, and also Professor Rosemary Bosu, Samuel Euku, PhD, Professor Esmail Jisi Kofi Asari of EduWatch, and Stephen Owusu, and also Inusa Shiraz. Now, the committee's terms of reference outline critical tasks, including 1, developing the themes and sub-themes to guide stakeholder engagement, identifying key stakeholders such as students, parents, teachers, researchers, policymakers, and civil society organizations, also creating a detailed agenda for discussions, including thematic breakout sessions and plenaries, selecting a venue and date for the forum, establishing a secretariat to document proceedings, and also proposing a budget for the event, drafting a national education policy framework with an implementation plan within 3 weeks after the forum, and is expected to serve as a platform for dialogue among education stakeholders, policymakers, and researchers. Now, after this, a few days later, the education minister, the sector minister, met heads and principals of colleges of education, and this matter about teacher training allowances came up, and he said, look, he didn't think that it is something that was sustainable. and that at some point, some hard decisions or tough decisions would have to be taken. But for now, what is going to happen is that the government intends to have a parallel system in place. You're going to have a situation where you're going to have what they will call the enhanced students loan scheme, enhanced or augmented students loan scheme. And then you're also going to have the allowances. So essentially what is going to happen is that you will have a choice. You want to go for a loan or you want to allowance. The modalities and the details have not been spelled out, but broadly speaking, these are the two options that he has put on the table. Now, the Daily Graphic reported it, and then the Education Ministry then came out and rejoined and said, look, the Daily Graphic reported that the government intends to scrap teacher training allowance. And so the ministry had to issue a rejoinder.
No, the Daily Graphic didn't say so.
No, that's the headline.
No,
I can read the headline to you. In fact, it was no.
Yeah.
It says to go. It depends. It depends on which newspaper. No, it depends on which newspaper. Some of the newspapers, I reviewed them here. Some of the newspapers actually said it was going to be scrapped. Okay. Yeah, like Statesman and Co. You know, they said it was going to be scrapped. Yes, but some said to go. But that's semantics. We're playing with semantics. We're playing with semantics. But essentially meaning that it was going to be a thing of the past, whether scrapped to go, whatever it is. So the Education Ministry then issued a statement to disclaim what had been said by the Daily Graphic newspaper. Let me start with you, Reverend.
I thought you would pick their direction on their party.
Oh no, you don't worry. Don't worry. Either way will be fine. No, either way will be fine. Either way will be fine. You've read the story.
Yes.
What do you make of this?
Yeah, Moro, I have
first of all the forum, and then
yes,
also the
I've maintained my principled position that a month into office is too early to want to criticize the government because they are still forming their government. Their appointments are not even fully constituted, and so it is too early to want to be criticizing this. For me, it's early. But my initial observations are that it is the expectation of the public that when you come into office, you have to be bold with your vision for the sector, education sector. What is your vision? Then stakeholders will now come in to help you to fine-tune that vision and to be able to help you in operationalizing that vision. You have to set the vision. But if you step in and you say that, well, I may have a vision, but I don't know whether I'm putting it aside or I want to hear stakeholders come and set a vision, for that it's something that might not sit too well with me. However, I do not disagree with the principle that you need to do stakeholder consultation. We have been doing stakeholder consultation. As a matter of record, out of the 6 or 5 coordinating persons who have been nominated to coordinate the National Education Forum, about 5 of them were instrumental in all the stakeholder consultations we've been doing for the past 4 years that I was at the ministry.
Okay.
Yes, all of them.
Out of the 7.
Out of the
8. Okay, so if you take the chairman out.
6 of them. About 6 of them.
Oh,
yes,
I see.
Have been instrumental.
Really?
In major reforms, because since 2018,
okay,
we had a broad consultation. Professors, civil society organizations, experts, development partners, local and international, teacher unions, organized labor, parents, students. We all came together and set up an education strategic plan that was to span for 12 years, from 2018 to 2030. And it's a broad strategic vision that dictates what steps the country must take in ensuring that we reposition our education system and having a very robust education system that meets 21st century demands, right from kindergarten, mainstream, to tertiary. And that plan is there. From 2018, every year we set aside 1 week, National Education Week, every year, where all these stakeholders, same stakeholders that are going to be assembled, the Professor, Dr. Oku, very good friend and astute educationist, Professor Smaljisi, principal at one of our colleges of education, Professor Namwa Mensah, Colossus in education, Professor Udro, Professor Dubuano. These are names one you mentioned in education, and other, Professor Quantin, all these professors from various sectors. we go through Professor John Japon and our suit. We come together, teacher union, and we review together with Africa Education Watch and UNICEF, UNESCO, IPA, and locally, internationally.
Okay.
And then comprehensive papers are presented.
Okay.
Every aspect of our education system, program, or policy is reviewed, is critiqued, and then recommendations are presented for 1 week. So that has been going on, you know. So now, and much the same people are some, and for instance, that's why I have a problem when people want to, you have appointed this person, he's not an NDC, sack him because MPP, I disagree. Professor Davis, fine professor. He is the newly appointed Director General of GES. Regardless his political affiliation, whether NDC, CPP, I don't know his political affiliation. But even though he never attended any MPP meeting whatsoever, we engaged him when we were forming the STEM curriculum. He played a lead role, you know, in doing that. Today he's appointed Director General of Ghana Education Service. Must he be sacked because he helped MPP, a government, in an aspect of our curriculum? No, you understand. So that's why I want the conversation to go this tangent. He is competent and he can deliver. So all these were heavily involved in the series of consultations we have had. But the point now is you have certain clear visions that are, that I would say, not, let's say deviation, let's use that word carefully, from what we were doing. For instance, on free SHS, you say that you will stop double track immediately when you come. We said we would continue and gradually, as the infrastructure we build. You said for free SHS, you will include private students. We did not include private students, but every student who needed to get in, we got him in. You said, for instance, that we were, you know, giving only 30% of remittances to headmasters to buy perishables, and then 70% of it were supplies going to them. You said no, you will give them 100%, you know, disbursement so that they will buy their own food. So you have your positions, clear positions, and I'm not faulting those positions. So we said on tertiary.
So essentially, they want to decentralize.
Yes,
that whole project.
And then you said that when you come into office, you will ensure that first-year students have their fees paid for public education, public universities or tertiary institutions.
Yeah.
And so we said that we had done, you know, student loan trust fund, remove the guarantor requirement, we'll expand it and make it more accessible.
Well, whilst before you go ahead, I beg you, before you go ahead, I think it's important that we point out the difference here. You say that you've been engaging some of these technocrats in your own, during your time, every year. Mm-hmm. The difference here is that these technocrats who have been put together, their job is to plan a dialogue. Now, this dialogue, if you look at the terms of reference, it's supposed to be all and sundry. Every Ghanaian is expected to be brought on board to express their opinion as to where we're going, we're heading with our education.
The same broad stakeholders.
Okay.
I only use CSOs and these as you know, consolidated way of.
But that cannot be the same as a forum, isn't it?
We have been doing national
dialogue.
Yes, we've been doing it
at the regional level.
No, at the national level, every year from 2018.
Really?
Yes. We've been doing most of the time we hold it at the Accra International Conference Center.
I see.
Yes, for a week. Students, teachers, you know, unions, education specialists, professors.
And usually, what is the agenda? The agenda what is?
Agenda is review our education strategic plan, our education policies, and every program related to education.
I see.
Including curriculum, including everything we do from kindergarten all the way to tertiary.
Okay.
So papers are presented by experts and various shades of opinion.
Okay.
It's not about putting together 12 or 20 people.
Okay.
It's a massive consultation for a week.
Okay.
So in all these, so what the public is expecting is that, yes, you have come, but it will be good to state your vision. So how are you going to operationalize some of the key promises you gave? You promised that you were not going to cancel teacher training allowances. You promised that you will, you will not cancel free SHS. You promised that you will expand so and so. So they want to hear how that vision sets out. So when you have stated clearly that vision, now you bring, stakeholders together. That this is my vision, and this is how I've operationalized it. Also come in and let's have your thoughts on the things that is going, then they come and review how you have set your vision in motion. But if right at the outset, it's like the stakeholders are the ones who must come and set your strategic vision for you. That's where some sections of the public may see that how will he own it? What will be the political, will to owning a vision set by stakeholders? It also sounds fantastic that Adrian Nibaku for you. So though you have your vision, but you are the president and you are the government. It is important that now, also on the score, that a forum must have a strategic policy. Policies are long term. You have 4 years. By the time you are done with one policy, 3 years is gone. By the time you are done even reforming curriculum, 3 years is gone. And by the time authors and publishers will have to even develop textbooks, 2 years is also gone. But if the context is that we have an education strategic plan ending 2030, we're only 5 years to 2030. And so this forum is going to plan beyond 2030. Let's have another 12, 15, or 20-year strategic plan, so that when various governments come, tomorrow after 4 years, President Mahama...
Yeah, but that's why. But that's what the national dialogue
but that is not the terms of
meant
reference.
to do, which is to bring everybody together.
It's not in the terms of reference. Their terms of reference is related to policies that must be pursued within those 4 years.
No, let me read it again. Let me read it again. Whilst at it, let me read it again.
Very well.
The terms of reference, and it's unfortunate. Our time is up.
Yeah.
This is how. That's just when you're.
But otherwise, the fear. Once you're looking for,
look. It says
others,
identify key stakeholders such as students, parents, teachers, researchers, policy makers, and civil society organizations.
And which of these were not included in the people we? That were part of our consultations.
Oh, but I don't think that.
So what I'm saying, I'm not saying this is wrong, but I'm saying that. I'm just saying that in putting it in context, others are also beginning to. I'm saying I'm going to restrain myself to about 6 months or so. Then I'll have my constructive after all. When they bring their documents, then you can criticize. You can't criticize now. But I'm just giving you certain views. The others were also concerned that is it the case that certain bold things may be cancelled.
Okay.
And
it
may have certain serious consequences. And for which the political class must hide behind stakeholders and say that, I wanted to keep your teacher training allowance. But the stakeholders are saying that we should cancel so and so. They are giving.
Review can even retain your policies. You don't know.
They said that they are fighting graphic now. Because they said they are not going to cancel teacher training allowance. But
it's a proposal.
The statement they issued makes reference to that. It was a thinking.
I think he's speaking.
Okay. But what I'm saying is that they should be clear. Set your vision. Be bold. Set your vision. And let the stakeholders help you to fine-tune your vision. Don't let the stakeholders set your vision for you.
All right.
You see,
a very good friend of mine, Sedik Pebu, says I should find out from you. Is Reverend Intim referring to a national forum that will put together an education policy or a forum to review a national policy? And that these are two different ones.
And which one?
He wants to find out from you.
But which one is the NDC pursuing?
Well, I think it's obviously
they're doing both.
I think the latter.
When you are going to set up a policy,
so they are not going to put a policy in place.
When you are going to develop a policy, definitely you have to look back for other policies. You have to rope in so many policies. Bring in together people who are competent in the field to come. They could take previous policies, look at it, and definitely they will move certain items that are in line with the vision of the current government into it. So I don't see why we should be belaboring about this. As for policy development, NDC has its own policies, and we made a promise in our manifesto that we will set up a team to look at to review the educational system of the country. And that is what the president has done so far. He set up a team of people to identify.
So, Maury, you get a contradiction. Yes. You just said that they had to set a policy. But Doc has also supplied that they had to review.
No.
So, you see the lack of clarity.
No. There's clarity in it. We are going to set up a new strategic plan for the educational sector.
So, you set aside the ESP?
It can be set as... No, there's no policy you develop without picking other policies input into it. Is there any policy like that? You have done thesis, and you know how it is done. You can't write a thesis and do brand new things. You definitely quote people. into it. The people you are saying they've appointed to the Ministry of Education, the GES Director General, you also have said that he has helped you in several ways. And that person will definitely be among the stakeholders that will come in the formulation of this. So we will have expertise coming from various sections of the Ghanaian public to come together and form that. Senchi was a very good group of experts they brought to bring about homegrown policies to help Ghana. We are doing similar things to the education. Let's devolve the educational sector. Let's get a good policy for the educational sector. Many Ghanaians complain about even the free SHH that you are touting yourself off. And I'm a clear example in my own town, Garu, the senior high school, even furniture is a problem. Food to eat was a problem. We all knew that you share tablets to so many students everywhere in the country. Garu, no single student had a tablet. They must review all this so that if there's distribution of anything, it reaches them. Food was centralized. They are saying that you can't centralize food. When the local market has those products to buy, reduce transportation costs and then the rest, you are buying the things in Boku, you bring them to Accra and return them to Garu. That is a waste of money. That's what President Mahama said. We'll send the money for the food items to the schools. Let them purchase them so that the local market would grow. And that is perfect. Coming to talk about the allowances, the enhanced loan, scheme, and then the teacher training allowance. He's the educational minister. He is proposing something. It is going to meet a group of experts for them to look at it, to find lasting solution to allowances issued in Ghana. You go abroad, students get loans. Other tertiary educations, students get loans. If they put the two, he's not saying they are scrapping. They are going to put the two. That's a proposal he's thinking. He wants to table. He's not saying he has done it already. He's going to table it for the experts and the government to look at it and agree. If they agree, then we'll have two sources of income for students in teaching.
And that is why I cannot criticize something that has not
been done. If they agree and you want the allowance, you don't want a loan, it's up to you. But I tell you, many of the students, they take the allowance and still their families still have to go for loans to augment what they take from government.
When we're having this conversation, so someone sent us a message and said, in the last 5 years, no, the last 4 years or so, they've not received their allowance. I've yet to independently.
No, it's not so. Okay. It's not so.
All right. But before you go, let me just do this quickly. Let me do this. It's extremely important. Let me wish a happy birthday to Professor Ebohin Singh. Professor Ebohin Singh is a board member of CAS Group. Yes. He's a marketing guru.
Yeah, he's a man of brands.
Guru. He's written, brands guru, marketing and brands guru. He's written a number of books on brands and. I think his latest was on. He's escaped me. He gave me a copy.
Professor Henson, happy birthday.
Yeah. He's the Pro Vice Chancellor of the Ghana Communication Technology University, and so from all of us here at the Ignite Media Group, we want to wish you a happy birthday. You're a fantastic man. You're a big man. He's also a personal friend.
Professor Henson and Professor Afakwa, his vice chancellor, are doing some great things at GCTU.
Really?
You know,
the transformation.
I can say the library they have. If you enter it, you forget that you're in Ghana. Their library. So we need to celebrate them on some of these occasions.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. And also to you, Precious Atipo,
one of the best
you're the founders executive at IMG. Happy birthday to you. Wish all of you the best as you celebrate this all-important day. And then just briefly, Dr. Christine Amwako-Niama, happy belated birthday wishes to you as well. Dr. Christine Amwako-Niama, you celebrated your birthday, I believe, yesterday or so. And Annie Efua Ampofo wishes you the best of the offers from us. Christine, Annie, is she the former? If you can add her designation, because I want to be more specific about who exactly this particular. Former Minister for Education.
Okay.
Yes, he's the former Minister for Education of Ghana. Yeah. It must have been during Professor Mills's time. Or Professor Rollins. No, that's Jerry Rollins' time, right?
Could be Jerry Rollins.
Jerry Rollins.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. I see. So today is her birthday, and we wish her the best. My brother, I think that His Excellency JDM should consider the rebuilding and finishing the community schools, which will lessen the burden on the boarding schools. Quite a number of messages have come through. I need to quickly look at this. Good morning, Maura. I can understand where Reverend Fojo is coming from. There's still... Oh, that's her. She's actually been a member of the Council of State of the NDC. Yes, that's her. Yeah. She's a member of the Council of State. Yeah. Oh, this woman. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's her. Yeah. She's a member of the Council of State. Oh, that's the woman. That's her. I see. So she celebrated her birthday yesterday. She must be probably in her 80s.
Evergreen.
Yeah, evergreen.
Right.
Happy
belated birthday.
Yeah. Oh, you see, that's her. That's her. Oh, no, actually, this is oh, yeah, that's her. Yeah, that's her. She looks very much like the former president, the former vice president's wife, wasn't it? Misata.
Misata.
Yeah, she looks very much like her. I mean, from the side.
Yeah, sure.
You know. Oh, I see. Former presidential advisor, Minister of Lands and Forestry. I see in 2001. Interesting. Anyway, so I guess we'll have to end it here because our time is up.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Thank you.
So, Reverend Charlie, but don't come today and come next year.
Right.
You know,
I'm always
we
available.
want you to be regular.
So just let Reverend know that look, proposals from the.
It's just a proposal.
The,
it's a
the
proposal.
minister.
This is Coastal Park, a well-demarcated gated community carved out to host your residential